guys. Alright, third video for the day. Final video before I start literally clicking the Cyberpunk button to see how long before I got. But yeah, we are counting it down. We have about 3.5 hours before it's released. So we'll play a little bit of DayZ and then jump over to Cyberpunk. That'll be on Gamers Caf on Twitch. I'll put a link in the description below. Feel free to jump in the channel and check us out. But yeah, guys, third video for the day. Texas sues over election results in battleground states. Biden won. And this actually has some links. This could turn the result. And they're doing a very, very good way. This is the way that I've always suggested that they go after it. The whole voter machines, flipping votes, stuff like that. Yeah, look. That's something that they can look into at a later date when you've got more time. This is my problem with QAnon. Don't focus on the stuff that's going to take months to prove. Focus on the stuff that can prove it now. Do a committee and do a full investigation of this election. Then you can go after the rest of the stuff. But regardless. Washington, Texas Attorney General Ken Patton has filed a last-ditch lawsuit in the Supreme Court for states won by President-elect Joe Biden. It's just Joe Biden at the moment, as far as I'm concerned, alleging that unlawfully enacted changes to their voting laws that led to election irregularities and skewed the results of the presidential election. Paxton, who is facing accusations of bribery and abuse of office. It's funny how he always gets that. Whenever he speaks up, whenever Republicans speak up, they get charged with stuff like that, isn't it? You know, Paxton, you know you're over the target when you're taking the most fire. Is asking the Supreme Court to extend the December 14th deadline for the state's certification of president-electors to allow for an investigation into the alleged irregularities. He also wants the court to block the use of unlawful election results without reviewing or ratification by the state's legislators. Paxton has filed his lawsuit against Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Michigan, all of which have certified their election results and formalized Mr. Biden's victory over President Trump. Although there is still a contested election, so he's not president-elect yet. He's not president-elect until 20th of January, alright? So, just, the media really needs to learn that, but regardless. Over Trump. Mr. Biden was projected the winner of the president-elected November 7th and has begun a transition process, but the president refuses to concede. And why should he? And by the way, he was projected by the media. The media does not call the election. The Supreme Court has set a deadline of 3 p.m. Thursday for 4 states to file a response before weighing in on the case. Mr. Trump laundered Texas' efforts to overturn the results of 2020 election, calling Paxton's case very strong, which it is, by the way. The president also said his campaign plans to request to join the case. I don't know how that would go. I think Trump supporting the lawsuit would be nice, but regardless. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how Trump getting involved in this case would go against or for the case. This is the big one. Our country needs victory, Mr. Trump tweeted on Thursday. Similar lawsuits brought by Mr. Trump's campaign that alleged widespread election fraud and sought to block certification of the election results have been rejected, with federal and state court judges filing no evidence was put forth to bolster the claims that illegal votes were cast. Which is interesting because we've had court case hearings that have literally shown some evidence of people voting, flipping votes, whatever it may be. People counting ballots when there were no people in charge, no people observing, for example, Georgia looking at you. So I don't know how you claim that there's no evidence brought forth when there's literally a video of someone pulling ballots from under a table and counting them after the poll watchers go home. I don't know how you claim that, but regardless. In this challenge to election results in 4 battleground states, Paxton claims that government officials used the coronavirus pandemic to alter their election results, weakening the ballot integrity. He's right about that. He also alleges they flooded their states with ballots to return by mail or drop in boxes while listing signature verification of witnesses' requirements as a result of those efforts, which they did. Paxton claims the election results are illegitimate, which they are, in my opinion. The Attorney General of Michigan and Wisconsin chilled the lawsuit as an unserious effort that is without merit. Well, dude, it's going before the Supreme Court, so you might want to take it serious. The motion filed by Texas Attorney General is a publicity stunt, not a serious legal pending. It's 152 of legality, so yeah, no, it is serious. Michigan Attorney General Dana Nielsen said in a statement, the erosion of confidence in our democracy system isn't attributed to the good people of Michigan, Wisconsin, or Georgia, or Pennsylvania, but the rather partisan officials like Mr. Paxton who place loyalty to a person over loyalty to their country. It is beyond breathtaking the amount of flip-flopping that you have from people who for years have claimed that Russia hacked the election with no proof, mind you. Even after an investigation is costing $130 million, mind you. It is amazing the amount of people that claim that Russia hacked the election who are now standing on a soapbox going on about people trying to undermine the presidency. What the hell were you doing for years when Trump took office? Nessels noted that the issue pertaining to Michigan raising in Paxton's lawsuit have been both legitimate and rejected by states and federal courts. That's why it's going to the Supreme Court. Mr. Paxton's actions are beneath the dignity of an office of Attorney General and the people of the great state of Texas, she said. Says the person who also most likely complained about Russia hacking the election. Wisconsin Attorney Josh Kirill said the state Justice Department intends to defend against this attack on our democracy, while probably also pushing a conspiracy theory that Russia hacked the election. The irony is amazing. It really, really is. I feel sorry for Texans and their tax dollars being wasted on such a general embarrassment of lawsuit, says the guy who most likely championed a $30 million investigation into Russia hacking the election. Are you getting the idea yet? You can't sit there on your soapbox and go on about how Russia hacked the election for 4 years and then claim that any challenges to the election is unconstitutional or against the American public, because you've literally done this for 4 years. Mr. Trump, meanwhile, praised Paxton's legal effort, and of course. Now, at the end of the day, I think this legal case actually has some serious legs. So what they're claiming, the skinny version of this is that Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Michigan went through and changed their laws in regards to absentee ballots and post-in ballots and did not run it through the Constitution. They needed to be constitutional amendments, and in fact, in some of these states, they actually started processing it to change the Constitution. But the thing was that they, I presume, realized they're going to run out of time, so they backed off that and they just tried to push it through without going through constitutional changes. That is actually a decent argument, and it's one that we've been pushing for a while here. And this is what I say, these people that watch QAnon and all that sort of stuff, the people that go on about voting machines and stuff, don't focus on that. Focus on this. This will win. Worry about your voting machines and your flipping votes and all that sort of stuff. Worry about that later. Don't worry. If Trump gets into the White House, he is going to call for an investigation into this election. It will happen if he wins. It's probably going to happen even if he doesn't win. That stuff will come out then. then, right? That stuff will come out when that stuff happens, right? If there is anything to back it up, that will come out when that happens. Let's win this election first. Let's win the election that we know we can easily do, and then we'll worry about the whole flipping votes and stuff like that. And we'll see if it happened. And if it did, we'll talk about it. But we need proof, and we're not going to get proof of that sort of stuff now. This is my problem with QAnon. To me, QAnon is a psyop. It is a person who's supposedly a pig farmer in the Philippines, sitting there typing out stuff, having a bit of a giggle, but the Democrats are using him as a way to get Trump's base to sit on their ass. This is my problem when it comes to QAnon. Trust the plan. Don't worry, we've got this. All this sort of language is basically saying, just do as you're told. Just trust the plan. Don't worry, we've got this. This sort of language gets people to not act. And while people aren't acting, Democrats are making moves. So no, I don't say that. I say get up. I say protest peacefully. I say hold rallies, waving Trump flags. Show the electors that you want to support the president and that you do support the president. Because at the end of the day, sitting on your ass, waiting for a pig farmer in the Philippines, allegedly, according to Barnes, then you might end up waiting for some train that does not come. But regardless. But as for this lawsuit, it definitely has legs, and the Republicans actually have a decent argument here. Like, you can see, like, everybody is talking about it right now. And like I say, you know you're over the target when you're taking the most fire. Now, obviously, really? Now, I'll see if we can... So, 17 states side with Texas in Supreme Court lawsuit aiming to overturn Biden's win in 4 states. 17 of them. So, updated as of 2:40 p.m. with 17 states backing Texas's claim, which I believe they can't do at the moment. They are trying to get it before the Supreme Court, so they can't actually support it on paper at the moment. It's more of a moral support, from my understanding. But 17 states filed a motion on Wednesday backing Texas's long shot. It's not really a long shot, actually. Backing Texas's long shot efforts to get the US Supreme Court to overturn the election results in 4 states that helped deliver the presidency to Democrat Joe Biden. He hasn't won it yet. Earlier in that day, President Trump tweeted that he would join Texas attorney Ken Paxton's lawsuit with effectively asking the High Court to negate 10 million ballots from voters who picked Biden over Trump in Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Those official states called the lawsuit a baseless stunt. The Supreme Court has given them until 3 p.m. Thursday to file a response. Trump's legal team has lost dozens. No, it hasn't. No, it has not. This is the problem. The Dallas News, you should know better. Trump's legal team has only lost a handful of cases. The vast majority of those cases that were lost were not Trump's legal team. They were independent actors. Big difference. And I'm sorry, but as some guy that has a panda, or whatever this thing is on my screen, is some guy in a study with an avatar of a fox or panda or whatever it is, knows the difference and you don't, you need to go back to journalism school. Because right now, I seem to know more about this than you do. Trump's legal team has lost dozens, no it hasn't, cases in federal state courting alleged ballot tampering and fraud by not rejecting Tulsa's lawsuit out of hand. The Supreme Court offered a glimmer of hope to prelude a decision on whether it will hear the case. We will be intervening in Texas, plus many other states' cases. This is the big one. Our country needs a victory, Trump tweeted, calling it the case that everyone has been waiting for. It's very strong. All criteria met. It was 152 pages, by the way. How can you have a presidency when a vast majority think the election was rigged? Only the Supreme Court has jurisdiction in controversies between state governors, and the court has signed little interest in second-guessing state election procedures after the facts, though. That's true. Paxton's lawsuit accuses the other 4 states of making unlawful changes to their election policies during the COVID pandemic, creating a massive opportunity for fraud. But yeah, basically at the end of the day, you've got Michigan joins the lawsuit. This is one of the 17. South Dakota has joined the lawsuit. Alabama, Louisiana have joined the lawsuit. There is 17 states that have done this. I'm just seeing if there is actually a list. It doesn't say the states, so what I can see. But yeah, there is a few that have joined in. There's 17. But yeah, but guys, at the end of the day, this is actually a really good case. This actually does have merit. This is probably the best chance that Trump is going to have to overturn the election. Well, one of the best chances anyway. And this is what I've always said. I've always said it will come down to the Supreme Court. I've always said that. So we'll see what the Supreme Court does. There is supposedly 7 to 4 conservatives on there, but there's a couple of liberals and maybe. There's also a couple of people that are federalists, so we'll see what they do. Amy Coney Barrett, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, guys, obviously we'll keep you advised of this. Hopefully Texas does a good job, and I've seen the document itself. I've watched every lawyer that I know talk about this, except Legal. So at the end of the day, yeah, I've watched Via Fry and Barnes. I know they're probably doing a show today. They're probably going to be talking about it. I've watched Via Fry's, I think his name is, I've watched his independent video about it. I've watched Rakita Law has talked about it. Everybody is saying that this actually looks like it might have a decent shot. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. If this video has been helpful, please smack that like button. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. This will be the last video for the day. I'm going to go and play some DayZ while we wait for, obviously, for Cyberpunk. Apart from that, guys, have a great night. Enjoy yourselves. I'll see you on Twitch if you come and join me. We're going to have some shenanigans. Shenanigans. Dun, 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 dun. Shenanigans. Dun, 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 dun. Apart from that, guys, have a great night. Enjoy yourselves. And I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody.